And I, I just like couldn't even believe that that was right in front of me because of just how prominent like the like synchronicities were that day. Our dreams speak to us so much. There's not enough content out there that truly helps someone who is co-creating in their dreams to know what their dreams truly mean, because it's all based on your own experiences, what exists in your electromagnetic field at that time. And when you can start to really lean into that, it is so magical what dreams can do for you. This is a huge example, right? Like, you get to lean into the magic of life when you start to really understand how potent and amazing your dreams can be. And one of my strongest indicators that have told me when I am in alignment with my manifestations or just alignment with my intuition in general, because sometimes I feel like that's a little bit more important, is through my dreams. And they're kind of funny. They might trip you out a little bit. So I had this dream the other night, and I was in a bakery, or like a cafe. Either way, French inspired. I knew my kids were around me because I could feel their energy. And there was this emphasis on a larger like cafe menu, like the ones that kind of sit on the floor. And I remember that we were looking for a croissant. That was important. And then I remember there being a lot of people around me. There was smaller tables, like, so it was kind of like a cafe restaurant type of deal. And then there was a man who was next to me, and suddenly I see this zoom in on his hands, and I'm seeing like this right here, right? It shows his fingernails are painted black. And I was like, am I with him? Like, I didn't know if like I was dating this guy or like if he was just in close proximity to me. It was like not abundantly clear. So I remember not fully understanding the dream. There was just like a flow, a hustle bustle kind of vibe, and then that was it. So I wake up in the morning, my kids are with me, and one of my sons wants to get a croissant. And I was thinking about a few different places, and the one place that I actually was intending for us to go to, suddenly I was like, you know what, let's just go here instead. So we went to a place in the same town that I live in, and it has more of like an authentic vibe. And I was like, oh, they actually have like the French recipe for the croissants. So he was so excited because croissants are like his jam. And they were actually closed. And I was like, oh man, this kind of sucks. And then another family came through, and they were looking in the window, and they opened up a half an hour early for us, which I thought was so cool. But here's the catch. So he ended up getting macaroons because both of my kids were super like into them, and they didn't have croissants. Okay. I promise that there is a parallel to the dream. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of a bummer. So then we end up going to the cafe that's a few doors down called The Goddess and the Baker. And we get a croissant from there. They have like these super big ones. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, kids loved it. They were super happy. My son Nasheen got a lemonade. He was even happier because he had been wanting a lemonade for days. They wanted to sit down, but I do have a kiddo who's on the spectrum, and he's nonverbal. He's an eloper. And so sitting down at a public place is not always the best option. So I was like, you know what, let's go. And we were actually in 15-minute parking. So that held me accountable too. So shuffled the kids, and I was like, you know what? I have this feeling like I just want to go to Seven Brew Coffee. Like, I had no idea. I just wanted to go to Seven Brew Coffee. And I had heard about like the sugar-free drinks there. And okay, sorry if I'm not on the train, but like still getting there. So we get to Seven Brew. There's a super long line. And I was like, you know what? It's going to move really fast. We're going to be totally fine. Sure enough, it actually moved really quickly. And this line was quite long. We get to the point where the guy's taking the order, and he's holding the tablet, and I see his fingernails are painted black. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, not only did the croissant thing happen because my son wanted one in the morning, but also I see the fingernails painted black. And then I remembered that when the French cafe opened up, the first thing she did was she moved the floor menu out of the way, just like I had seen in my dream. And I was like, if that's not some kind of crazy coincidence, which of course we know it's not. Like, I don't know what is. But I had to just take this moment as it was all unfolding before me and realize, like, this is what alignment looks like. This is what alignment feels like, because my dream was prepping me for something the day before. Now, why is that important? Because normally, I mentioned I have a kiddo on the spectrum. He has severe autism and he's nonverbal, and he can be triggered by meltdowns very easily. So they can come out of nowhere and it makes things a little bit difficult. It can be scary when you're driving, or when you're trying to go into a public place with him. So because I felt like I was in such flow, I had this just full confidence that he was going to be okay. And sure enough, he was. He was in a really great mood. He was super happy. He got a croissant. He got a chocolate. Yeah, a chocolate. He got a macaroon. And then he also got it's like I think it's called like a pink mermaid drink. So he likes fizz. So he was super, super happy that day. And it was something about, like, this is what happens when you lean into things and when you trust. Why is that important? Because in my personal experiences, I have been trying to find more balance in how much I'm doing for my business, how much I am showing up for my children, and like what we do every day, and how much I show up for myself, and making sure that I feel good, that my nervous system feels like it's resetting when it needs to, and so many other things. Like, moms out there, we juggle a lot mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so I have been trying to find where that balance truly is. And it's been a journey, but it's kind of been a really beautiful journey. And I share all this with you guys because there was another thing that popped up. And if you guys know anything about numerology or number synchronicities, this one's going to be kind of cool. So the night before, my kiddo was having a little bit of irritability. And so I play vacuum cleaner noises either on the TV or on my phone. And he was in my bed and I'm like, you know what? I'll leave him my phone because my other kiddo wanted me to read him a book. So I play the vacuum cleaner noises. He's really content. And then all of a sudden he just comes out into the front room, maybe like 10 minutes later, and he's happy as a clam. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And I'm like, oh, let me go get my phone. So thinking it's still running vacuum cleaner noises. Well, it wasn't. And then it looked like my screen was cracked in about 6 different places. And I realized he bit my phone because he's a biter, at least to, inanimate objects. And I was like, what am I going to do? So during these times, their dad and I, we have to tag team because our support system is extremely minimal, unfortunately. And so we do the best that we can because we try to stay in the positive, especially me. So we go to a phone place to go and get the screen replaced. And when we go, it turns out that it was actually just the film on the screen, because it was a harder plastic one, and that's what I saw cracked. But of course I didn't want to remove it because I was scared of broken glass. So that was really cool. But as I'm sitting in the car with my kiddos and their dad is in there trying to, get the screen replaced, yes, he definitely is a nice guy and he helps out. That's wonderful. Just have to point that out. So anyways, there's a picture on the storefront, and my son Asheen's like, Mom, are you looking at that? Did you see it? Did you look at it? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so aggressive right now. And I was like, yeah, honey, I saw it. Because I did actually look. And he goes, no, look at that. And I didn't even know what he was pointing at because he wasn't really being descriptive. But I see a phone on there with the time and it says 4:44. And if you guys, again, know about numerology or have kind of like dabbled in number synchronicities, to me at least, 444 is a number of like foundation, is a number of balance. And it has been a huge prominent number in my life or number sequence since moving out on my own and going through divorce and being on this whole new journey, like with entrepreneurship. And I just like couldn't even believe that was right in front of me because of just how I don't want to use the word intense, but prominent, like how prominent like the like synchronicities were that day with the croissant, with the fingernails, with the, cafe board and like everything. It was super, super cool to see that as like our last destination. And I just, I love when things like this happen, because the thing is that like our dreams speak to us so, so much. And that's why one of my next programs is actually going to be focusing on dream decoding and dream analysis, because there's not enough content out there that truly helps someone who is co-creating in their dreams to know what their dreams truly mean. There are dream dictionaries out there, but there is not enough that would help someone to actually understand their dreams. Because, of course, yes, there are services where you can use them, but something that I have been called to all of my entire life, and I really mean it because my very first memory was a dream, very first memory, has been to help people understand their dreams. And it's not because they say, oh, well, there's the color red, and I'm like, oh, red means this. No, I am always feeling into their energy field and connecting with their intuition to understand what that dream truly means to them. Because that's the thing, is that there is no cookie cutter definition of what red is. Like, you can't always take red as meaning love. You can't always take red as meaning danger in your dreams, because it's all based on your own experiences, what exists in your electromagnetic field at that time. And when you can start to really lean into that, it is so magical what dreams can do for you. This is a huge example, right? Like, you get to lean into the magic of life when you start to really understand how potent and amazing your dreams can be. And that's why I needed to hop on here and share this with you, because this was a really, really cool one. So I'm going to drop another one and I'll link the video here. So if you want to know about the other synchronicity that popped up in my dreams, then definitely click on this for more.